Many readers interpret The Wife of Bath's tale as one about a knight on a quest to learn his wrongdoings to spare himself from a death sentence. However, we disagree. Contrary to popular belief, the crone is the story's true hero. A hero to the wife of Bath herself, and a hero to all females past and present, as she challenges the idea that a female's role is to please their male partner. This change in traditional roles and heroes brings us to the question: how does the wife of Bath challenge the gender expectations of the time as revealed in her narrative and characterization of the crone? In this presentation, we will discuss how the crone's values and behavior highlight medieval standards pertaining to women by opposing such constructs to articulate the irrational expectation that a woman's greatest responsibility is to submit to her male superior. During the Middle Ages, women were confined to their pre-established societal positions, seeing as their domestic and reproductive activities informed every aspect of their lives, often shaping them to be housewives. At this time, land ownership was the primary indicator of wealth, falling in line with feudal echelons. The crone was financially independent, yet, though such case was an anomaly, she still did not have the capacity to own land, thus demoting her placement on the feudal pyramid. Despite this, the crone continues to ascribe value to her unique life experiences that, in her eyes, make her more important than the king himself. Her progressive ideas concerning patriarchal reformation directly conflict with the conservative values dictated by the all-powerful Catholic Church. Around the time the Canterbury Tales was written, specifically between 1387 and 1400, the world saw the rise of nation-states in Western Europe led by powerful monarchs and the formation of early parliamentary systems, often dominated by wealthy and powerful land barons. This shift was one of the first steps of modernization that would eventually lead to West Europe propelling itself back onto the world stage. While the rest of Western Europe became increasingly modern, their gender expectations remained in the Middle Ages, expecting women to never exceed the rank of men who presided over them. The Catholic Church, often referred to as the medieval church, considered women's sexuality and marriage as automatically evil, demoting them to a second-class status. This did not stop the wife of Bath from carrying out her agenda.
Despite how old this story is, it is not the first time the idea of a woman gaining say and control in both her life and a male's life appeared in literature. The two most well-known tales with a similar story are John Gower's The Tale of Florence and the anonymous The Wedding of Sir Gawain and Dame Rangel. In both of these stories, a young knight embarks on a journey to discover what a woman wants. And in both, an old crone reveals the answer on the condition that the young knight marry the old crone. Sound similar? The funny thing is that they both predate the Canterbury Tales, which can raise a few eyebrows about the inspiration of this story. Contrary to societal gender beliefs at the time, the crone exemplified the single-minded gratification that women desired. She directly defied those beliefs through her financial independence, violence, and thirst for control over all men she encountered. The last two combat the gentle and delicate ideal of a woman and the custom of remaining faithful to one man, a practice that is traditionally in line with the Catholic Church. As a woman who has seen all ends of life, from inclusion to exile, she states that women desire to have sovereignty, as well over their husbands as their loves, and to be in mastery of them above. This idea is depicted by the buff arm holding a distaff, a medieval tool used to hold unspun fibers, but was sometimes depicted in satirical works as a weapon women would use to beat their husbands in order to exert dominance over them. Her opinion on this topic is further emphasized when the crone exclaims, "I pray that Jesus may shorten the lives of those who won't be governed by their wives," indicating a great disdain for those who allowed the strict patriarchy of the Middle Ages to carry on. The tale, quest, and its outcome is a salutary lesson to males about not overriding women, which is emphasized by the knight's need to seek help from the crone, framing her as the expert in this journey's mission, thus allowing her to have complete control over him. She is depicted as a woman who lives in the real world, in full awareness of the anti-feminist literature that purports to describe and criticize her behavior, and her outlook reflects that instilled defiance. This consciousness of her actions makes her a foil to the feminine ideals of the time, often being promiscuous and showing little shame in her actions, despite them often being blasphemous.
The legacy of the Wife of Bath does not end with her story. In fact, many other tales have sprung up in literature and media following a similar archetype. The most remarkable connection to modern pop culture can be seen with Taylor Swift in her vibrant entertainment career. The Wife of Bath's crone believes in the free will and autonomy of women, which is something that few women possessed in the Middle Ages, paralleling Taylor, who is often considered to be a character who is ahead of her time and one that is very vocal about her thoughts. It is still a real problem that women across the world face, and it's one that Taylor Swift speaks up for in many ways. Despite the centuries that separate them, Both Taylor Swift and The Wife of Bath's crone made monumental steps for the female population in the direction of articulating flaws in societal function rooted in institution and implicit behaviors. Both figures are known for repudiating gender standards and casting a new mold that serves to highlight women's potential and elevate their status to one as being equal to their male counterparts. Despite not being the first, The Wife of Bath's tale is one of the most well-known examples of documented feminism in the Middle Ages, an era inaptly characterized in the context of male achievement. Along with this, the crone remains one of the few well-developed female characters in Chaucer's work that successfully and daringly shed light on the pertinence of deteriorating female status in a male-dominated world. By telling the tale of a crone finding a new husband and being granted her righteous sovereignty in their marital affairs, she sets a precedent for the potential that an egalitarian society can hold, but, more simply, the power in granting sovereignty, what women really want. That's all the time we have for today. Thank you for watching.